You're listening to LunaKage and Mr. You Suck's Unnamed Wrestling Podcast.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of LunaKage and Mr. You Suck's Unnamed Wrestling Podcast.
Unedited, unapologetic, unnamed.
Damn right. Don't forget it.
Nope.
Now, anyways, my name is Mr. Yusuck, and with me today is...
The only LunaKage.
Not to imply that any other day he wouldn't be here, but I just felt like being formal tonight.
Yes.
We are here tonight after the final pay-per-view on the road to WrestleMania, Raw's exclusive Fastlane 2017.
So you know it's going to be bad.
Oh, God, it was fucking terrible. Spoilers. Normally you alert someone of spoilers before you say something, but I felt like it was actually required listening that everyone knew that this pay-per-view was fucking terrible.
Yeah.
I am going to plow through this because, really, I just want to go home now.
It was really underwhelming.
You commented on it like halfway through. You're like, Jay, you don't look like you're having any fun.
Yeah, Jay.
And it was not.
Like, Jay was so, like, out of... He was so miserable that I thought it might have been my fault for a second. I'm like, did I say something?
I was mentally checked out of this pay-per-view halfway through, and very little ever did anything to pull me back in.
Because we've sat through some bad pay-per-views before.
Yeah, but we've also sat through bad pay-per-views that, like, something wacky happens, and you're like, we have something we can talk about. This was literally Raw.
Yeah.
This was, like, the most... It wasn't necessarily bad in a lot of situations, but it was the most underwhelming and nondescript pay-per-view I think we've seen for at least... been a long while.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's kick it off with one of the, been a while since I've said this, best parts of the show, the kickoff match. Rich Swann and Akira Tozawa versus Brian Kendrick and Noam Dar. Fine cruiserweight match, but Akira is definitely the big star because a lot of the other guys just, they can't seem to connect with the crowd. Like, they don't know how to work the crowd or really resonate with them, but Akira is 100% in sync with the crowd, and the crowd responds back with him. So
yeah, I mean, he was... Like, I don't usually feel like too many Japanese wrestlers that come over to WWE, at least, tend to do that. At least ones that are as well known. Because obviously you got your Asukas, formerly Kana. You got your Shinsuke. But... When it's like a random Japanese wrestler that most Americans won't know about,
yeah,
it's usually a little harder for them. Like most of the time, they end up endearing themselves to the fans due to some kind of comedic role.
Yeah,
like Funaki, even Tajiri. Like Tajiri was good in the ring, but he didn't really get over until he was like. William Regal's little fucking, unwitting crony, basically. And...
Jimmy Wang Chang.
I don't even know if he got over it, honestly.
Probably not. We're gonna go ahead and guess probably not. But Akira's ability to resonate with the crowd was something that a lot of the cruiserweights just couldn't do I'm talking about the rest of the guys in these matches and over the matches they have had within the division. They've not been able to resonate with the crowd. It's always been pretty dead zone. But Akira was just awesome. He gets the hot tag. Crowd really gets wild up. Rich gets a pin after a Phoenix Splash. And probably one of the best cruiserweight pay-per-view matches we've had. Especially in terms of heat. Moving on to Fastlane proper, our curtain jerker for the evening is... Sami Zayn versus Samoa Joe.
In a match that should have been a lot more than it was.
I have Joe lands fatty hits. Sami sells like a king. Repeat for 10 minutes.
Yep.
There was nothing worth talking about in this match. It was 100%... No, I won't even say that. There have been Raw matches that were better than this. This was on the average to below average Raw match.
This was a very much going through the motions match because it was... I feel like I feel like Seth Rollins was supposed to be on this pay-per-view, but obviously could not. You know, you got to believe it would have been Seth Rollins versus Joe.
Yeah.
You know, so this was kind of just like a thrown-together match at the last minute. Like, these two guys, you know, both former Ring of Honor alumnus. And I know these two, especially together, could have an amazing match, but that's not what this was supposed to be.
God, no.
So, it wasn't. You know, I can't fault either guy involved. I could just kind of fault the circumstance.
Yeah, it's not their fault this was a bad match, but there was no reason for them to have a good match.
Right.
There was absolutely no reason for them to have a good match. So.
It wasn't really the time for those two to have a good match yet.
No.
And I know it kind of feels silly to say that, but I mean, it's true. You know, one day, but not today.
Anyways, Samoa Joe gets the Coquina clutch. Sammy literally just dies. He doesn't tap, he just dies.
Yeah.
Work rate was fine, but there was absolutely no spice in this match.
Yep.
Enzo and Cass versus Gallows and Anderson for the Raw Tag Team belts. Once again, nothing really big to talk about here. Enzo gets beat up for about an hour. Cass gets a hot tag. You know, we've all seen this. They try to hit the Boom Shakalaka on Anderson, but he has been rolled far too close to the turnbuckle. Yeah. So they kind of just do a really, really jacked up version. Pin gets broken. Enzo tries to enter the ring, and Anderson clocks him. Enzo goes limp on the ropes as Anderson goes for the pin. Enzo's leg is still on the ropes, but the ref doesn't see it, and Gallows pushes it off before the 3 count, giving us this really weird semi-clean finish.
Yeah, because, like, I mean, it was a dirty move, but it wasn't cheating.
Yeah.
You know, like, the ref didn't see it, and nobody who wasn't involved in the match got involved in the match.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like...
It was a really weird reversal, because normally it's like, 1, 2, throw leg on rope. Instead it's, This guy was just tied up in the rope for a second.
Yeah.
He's getting a pin on him, and Gallows, like, pushes his leg off to make the pin legal, which is really, like, there's nothing heelish in that.
Right. It's about as heelish as somebody coming in to break up a pin in a tag team match.
Yeah.
Which happens all the time on both sides.
I don't know if I thought I mentioned this a couple episodes ago, but apparently there's, like, an unwritten rule that in tag team matches, you get 1 breakup out of pin.
See, I've heard that.
Yeah. I think that might be one of those rumors, but the WWE wrestling rules have actually never been, like, concrete.
Yeah, I have heard about that unwritten rule, but you know, like I've seen more breakups than that.
Yeah.
In a match, and I mean, you know, maybe it depends on how long the match goes, but obviously you got to keep some kind of limit on it, because if everyone's just always trying to break up pins, you know, then it's going to be really weird. Like, guys are going to be breaking up pins after a regular clothesline. It's like, there's no need to do that.
No, it was a very strange way to finish, because you're not really sure how much they're going to be like, hey, that pin wasn't clean.
Right.
But at the same time, they kind of played the pin like it was clean and tried to make it clean, and there's really nothing wrong with what they did. So.
Right.
I don't really know what they do going off from here. It didn't give us any sort of idea of what's going to happen for Mania.
Right.
Also, the match was totally lackluster and nondescript. Speaking of, Nia Jax versus Sasha Banks.
Oh man.
The first 2 matches were acceptable. This is wholly forgettable, and I don't care. Nia's putting me to sleep. We've mentioned multiple times on this show that Nia is just not anything worth watching.
It's not doing it for me.
Not doing it for anyone.
My future wife is not that good of a wrestler.
No, she's not. I'm sorry. I hate to rain on your parade. She's not. Nia gives the world's lamest torture rack. And then Sasha, admittedly, this is cool, gets a couple elevated guillotines and sleeper holds.
Yeah.
Which is always nice when you have your small, plucky baby face literally climbing the mountainous monster. Sasha momentums her way into a DDT, gets a bank statement, but Nia powers out, and Sasha gets a roll-up and bridges it into a successful pin.
Yep.
So, cool.
She did it.
Yeah, woo.
She did it.
Yeah, there's literally nothing else to be said about this match.
Yeah.
This is the one that's the hardest to describe. So Jinder and Rusev have been in a tag team.
Oh, God.
And they break up on the pay-per-view in a backstage segment, and Jinder's like, Mick, I want a singles partner. I want to do a singles match. And Rusev's like, hey, what are you doing here? I was going to come in here and ask for a singles match. And so Mick's like, I'll send both of you out there, and you can decide amongst yourself who will go first in their singles match. And I'm like, what the fuck does any of that mean?
Yeah.
It's like, no one knew what was... So like, Jinder goes out there and gets in the ring, and then Rusev goes out there and gets in the ring. And then they squabble because they hate each other, and Jinder dumps Rusev out, and then Cesaro and Sheamus show up. So then Jinder and Cesaro have a match. And you're like, okay, sure, like, that makes sense. One of them's going to get a single... Like, someone's going first, they have a singles match. I guess this makes sense. Cesaro comes out to fight him. Cesaro injures his back and storylines his way around his injury, leading to a beautiful crossbody. Jinder is maddeningly distracted when Rusev rises back up, leading to Jinder being pinned by the pop-up European uppercut.
The Swiss death.
The Swiss diss. Rusev comes back into the ring, beats the ever-loving hell out of Jinder, and then we wait for Rusev's opponent, which logic would have concluded that was Sheamus. But Sheamus is not having a match tonight. Yep. Instead, we get the Big Show.
Yep, and that's what you get for assuming his gender.
I don't know how to verbalize this joke over air, but I'm trying to say Mahal, but M''Hall. There's no good way to verbalize. I have to just explain the joke.
Yeah.
I just have to explain the joke. Anyways, and back up for a second. The Cesaro and Jinder match was like a fully realized, 10-minute plus match.
And it was not that bad.
It was not bad at all. It was a fully realized match.
It had no heat.
Of course not.
But it was not bad.
And so, Big Show comes out, and you're like, okay, cool. Sheamus, huh? I guess we got Big Show instead. And Rusev and Big Show then have a fully realized, actual 10-plus long match. And
I feel like these were booked at the last minute because they realized, oh shit, we weren't going to put any time into the main event.
Oops.
We forgot.
We forgot about that.
We were so intent on having the match that we forgot that it was going to be nothing.
None of these matches were announced before the pay-per-view. We didn't have anything know about this. Also, sideline, Rusev has cut his hair, and he's now handsome Rusev. Yeah. And I'm really hoping this is the beginning of his babyface turn, because we need it. Anyways, match.
This is hair.
Yeah, I like those.
I'm biased towards long hair.
His long hair looked good. I'm not gonna even front.
He had a very, very nice ponytail.
He did. He very much did. Big Show
sometimes why
Big Show hits the final cut, which was noteworthy.
It was the final cut. That's what it was called in Raw 2 for the Xbox.
Ooh.
I don't know if Big Show ever used it as a finisher, but I do know he used it during that era at least as a signature. Mm-hmm. And basically, it was the same move as Hurricane's Eye of the Hurricane. Except, not as much theatrics as Hurricane would give it. And I really like the move. Later on, I believe, Goldust would use a move called the Final Cut. That wasn't that move. It was like a twisting.
Yeah, I thought that was his. That's not his curtain call, is it?
No, the curtain call was the nut shot.
Because the Final Cut was what he used, and that was kind of like a twisting jackhammer almost.
Yeah, and I liked that.
Yeah, that was really good.
But yeah, this one at the very least was called the Final Cut, Big Show's version, because that game Raw 2 had both Eye of the Hurricane and Final Cut right next to each other. So it's like, what's the difference here? Oh, one of them, Big Show uses it, and like the move even looks like a big dude is using it as opposed to fucking Eye of the Hurricane. But yeah, I like that move because I think it's a really nice move, and we don't get to see it very often.
No, definitely haven't seen that, and God knows when.
So I got really hyped when I saw Big Show use it.
Let's see. Match goes a lot longer than anyone was expecting because we're probably half an hour into this whole affair at this point.
Right.
Big Show kicks out of 3 consecutive Machta kicks. Big Show hits a choke slam, takes his straps down, hits another choke slam, and then lets the crowd hype themselves up for a third choke slam. Gets the third choke slam, says that's not enough, drags Rusev to the corner, and then delivers the world's most feather-touched KO punch. and then pins Rusev. So move over, New Stars.
Yeah.
Big Show takes a win. Let that silence just tell you our general understanding of any of this.
I mean, it was a gigantic question mark. Because it's like, I mean,
it's like,
who was that for?
Jinder and Rusev went out there to both get buried.
I wouldn't say, Jinder wasn't buried.
No.
I still won't say Rusev was buried, because he put up a fight. It was a good fight. But it still makes no sense to me why Big Show won.
No. I mean, it makes sense in the idea that they're probably still trying to get this Shaq Big Show match happening, but...
Yeah, but at the same time, he doesn't need to have any momentum going into WrestleMania against a non-wrestler.
Against Shaq.
Yeah. So it's like,
it's not like you have other jobbers that you can have him murder. Where's Bo Dallas?
Where is Bo Dallas?
I have no idea. He showed up once a month ago.
I missed that goober.
Yeah. Where's Curtis Axel? Where's Titus O'Neil? Let Titus O'Neil and Big Show have a big old ham hock, slap fest.
Yeah.
You don't need to take it out.
Honestly, though, I wouldn't have wanted to see that at all.
No, but
as much as I didn't want to see Big Show tonight, that at least this match was serviceable.
Yes.
That match would have just been fucking doo-doo butter.
I mean, the Big Show Rusev match was in the top percentage of matches out of the night, if I'm being completely honest with you.
Yeah. It was the youngster Joey's rat-a-tat of wrestling matches tonight.
Jesus.
It's like it sucked, but it will live on in our hearts.
Yeah. At least we will remember it. And not for hating it. And then we get to the actual best match of the night. Neville versus Jack Gallagher for the Cruiserweight belts.
Yep, finally the Cruiserweights won best match of the night.
Holy shit, did they ever. Neville's obviously the GOAT. He's just awesome. But Jack can easily hold his own in the ring.
Which was really surprising, because I don't watch 205 Live.
No, I don't either.
I don't usually venture outside of American wrestling too much. I've watched a couple of Japanese matches, but usually I keep it to WWE because, it's whatever.
You go with what you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's just what I watch. Some people would say that makes me not a true wrestling fan.
Nah, fuck those people.
But I don't care. It's like how some people think that Slipknot isn't really metal. It's like,
who?
Yeah, there's some people that's like, no, it's not Metallica.
No, that's just different types of metal.
I know, it's a stupid argument.
Stop being closed-minded.
It's a stupid argument, especially considering how legendary Slipknot has become.
Yeah.
Back when they first came around, I could understand the sentiment, because these dudes are putting on masks and making noise on stage, I could kind of get where someone was coming from. But now they're
just
who would have thought?
Yeah.
They're like legends in the world of metal.
I thought Slipknot were legends back when I was in high school.
I mean, they were by that point, honestly. Because, you're like a year or two younger than me.
You're 27?
Yeah.
I'm 26, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So we were in high school about the same time. So
that
was when Volume 3 came out.
Yep.
By then, they were already taking the world by storm, But yeah, this is off topic on the greatest degree.
Dude, it's more interesting than these matches.
I mean, you're right.
Actually,
you're right.
I should back up. This is the match that is interesting and worth talking about.
Yeah.
But so Neville, we already know is great. We already know he's probably the best thing the Cruiserweight division's gonna have. Jack totally able to handle his own. He hits an elevated headstand on the top ropes for comedy appeal, but then that's it for the rest of the match. It's all business.
Yeah.
His offense becomes more and more legitimate, hitting suicide dives, which is against his gentlemanly rules.
Really?
Yeah. So one of his first episodes he showed up in, he was running for a suicide dive, and then he kind of stops and goes around the rope, and then does a very gentle, from the apron. Double axe handle. Yeah. And he's I'm a gentleman. I don't do the suicide dive. But in the match, he's got to fucking do it.
Yeah.
And so it was a very legitimate, match. And also he hits this fucking top rope belly to back suplex that would just make you scream.
Yeah.
It was awesome looking. Neville is, however, even more advanced than we've seen him in previous years. Yeah. His snap suplex was amazing. It was like those NES sprites that only have 2 frames of animation, like Mega Man walking. It's just him in the suplex position.
And then down.
It was instant.
Yep.
He hits this ricochet suplex.
Yeah, I call it the ricochet German suplex.
It's a ricochet German fadeaway suplex. Throws him into the ropes, lets him rebound, Germans him, but lets go. Yeah. And Jack just fucking dies.
Yeah, it was great.
He was just flying all over the place. Jack hits Neville with 2 headbutts, which, by the way, when you hit a headbutt and you do a thigh slap, it sounds like someone just died.
Yeah.
It sounds just fucking brutal. Neville survives. Jack gets on the top rope with a third Jack gets him on the top rope with a third headbutt, but in his attempt to capitalize, Neville throws him off the mat, hits the red arrow, and then handstands out of it for like extra swagger. Gets the pin. Easily the best match on the night, and easily the best cruiserweight match on a pay-per-view.
Yeah, so far in this incarnation of the cruiserweight division, that is definitely the best match that we've seen so far.
I would love to see this match happen a second time at Mania with more time.
I wouldn't mind it. I gotta wonder if they're gonna have a Mania match. Though.
What else would you want to see? That's my question. What else is there that would be as good as this that the cruiserweights could show us?
I mean, you're right, but at the same time, it's like they're notorious for.
I mean, I'm not doubting that they won't get a match. I'm saying if there was a match, is there anything other than this a second time that you would want to see more?
That I would personally want to see more?
Yeah.
No,
me either.
But what I think might be likely is like a multi-man clusterfuck.
Yeah, multi-man clusterfuck on the kickoff show. New Day come out with a segment regarding their New Day ice cream. Big E is work drunk.
I call it booty cream.
Booty cream. It says it's 100% gluteus free.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns versus Big McStrong Huge. Roman comes out in these fucking white high top sneakers with big white soles.
Yeah.
And it is the stupidest looking thing ever.
It's so jarring.
Because he's still wearing a combat Kevlar vest.
And see, I think I understand why they went with white soles over any other color soles, with the exception of black, obviously. His vest was black with the white trim.
Yep.
So they were like, well, we could get away with having white trim on your shoes. But it was like way more
jarring.
Way more.
It was literally like some Secret Service man walking up in fucking high top kicks.
Yeah.
It was so jarring.
It was as soon as like he pointed it out to me, because like I wasn't looking at the screen, and when I did look at the screen when he pointed it out, I only saw like, you know, his upper body and shit. So when they finally cut to his shoes, I was like, whoa.
It was fucking something, man. It was fucking something. Anyways, Braun has a lot of offense with the Samoan drop that honestly looks better than most. Braun mauls on him for a good while, takes him to the outside for a tease of an announcer spot until Roman reverses, takes him inside the ring, and gets his offense going. He is able to get the big man off his feet with a Samoan drop of his own. Braun regains composure as he misses a kick and spills to the outside, being hit by an exceptionally fresh pair of drive-by kicks. Roman sets up on the outside for a spear. He's like, oh yeah, I got him. Braun grabs him out of the spear and running power slams him through the previously teased announce table, which looked like they didn't have the momentum to break the table, but they did.
Yep.
And also that Braun probably took his own legs out doing that.
Yeah, because the way the table folds out, you know, like if there's any part of you hanging off the table, like there's a chance that it's going to get hit.
Yeah, and he was entirely off the table.
Yeah.
There's really no way to do that move without him being off the table. He can't like jump up and then like anchor slam Roman onto it.
If he would have jumped farther up and like bent the knees, maybe. But I'm sure he never thought about doing it that way. You know what I mean? Because he probably never assumed, you know, that kind of thing would happen.
Yeah.
And like it looked like it might have affected him a little bit.
It looked like he might have hurt his knee.
Yeah. Not like hurt, but just kind of like ouch.
Ouch. Yeah. He might have honestly like skinned living daylights out of his shins.
Yeah.
He gets back in the ring. Roman hits a very, very, very weak spear, But Strowman kicks out.
Yeah.
And of course commentary's like, it wasn't a full spear.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, well, how about you...
Anything to protect that fucking move.
Yeah, how about you fuck the fuck off? Roman tries to Superman punch him, but it does not work. And Braun goes to the top fucking rope.
Yeah.
And does a big ass splash. Roman rolls out of the way, hits the spear, and wins.
Yeah.
Braun was the hero of this, but they fed Braun to Roman.
Yep.
Roman's not buried by any means necessary, but why does Roman need these wins?
I know why he needed this win.
For Taker?
Yeah, because Taker. And it's like I was mad about him winning. I'm still upset that it was Strowman, but
Yep.
I mean at the same time I do understand if they're going with the Taker route, he does need a win, you know, because like even though it is Roman, it's going to be much less believable if he loses to Strowman, especially if it's clean, and then goes to take on Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Exactly.
I'm not happy about it, but at least I get it.
Yeah, I'm not happy about it either, but I understand why it happens. It's just it doesn't... It softens the blow, but the blow's still there.
Yeah.
It's just like, please, something else, anything else. Bayley versus Charlotte for the Raw Women's belts. I don't care. I straight up don't care about this match.
Yeah.
I've seen Charlotte too many times. The pay-per-view streak and the tagging the belts back and forth on Raw has been obnoxious.
It's been stupid.
I've seen too many 25-minute plus matches with Charlotte where there's nothing she can really do to surprise me anymore.
And let's just jump right ahead to fucking Bayley won.
Yeah.
Thanks to assistance from Sasha.
Total assistance from Sasha.
And again, if we were going to fucking have her win the belt or keep the belt here, why not just have her win it here?
All the heat's not on Bayley, it's all on Sasha. That's the problem. This isn't Bayley's victory. This is Bayley's victory, but what's Sasha's game plan? Like, the takeaway from this isn't Bayley did it, yay! Heroic babyface breaks the streak of the most dominant heel in the women's division. It's Bayley wins, and me and you are sitting here like, so does Sasha turn now or later? Because it looks like she's about to turn now.
Like I got a real feeling that she was going to turn. She didn't.
Somehow she did, because she was like in that like uncomfortable distance.
Yeah, like
away
I
from her.
felt like they were lingering in the ring for too long.
Yeah, you're like, she's gonna turn. This is gotta be that, and that would have made things okay. And then she didn't turn, and I'm like, how do you fuck this up this badly?
I mean, I would have been fine with it if she never showed up.
Exactly. Oh yeah, if she didn't show up, that'd be great.
Because especially with that win against Nia earlier, it was like, okay, great. And honestly, you could have done this very finish without having Sasha turn if Nia would have came out and started beating ass. Because
Exactly.
it's like it helps build towards that 4-way you know they want to do.
Exactly. Like, everything that happened in this match makes just no fucking sense to me.
Yeah.
Why did they kill Why did they kill Charlotte's pay-per-view streak at this bum fucking pay-per-view instead of at WrestleMania? Why did Bayley need to be helped another time? Like, why do you need to bring down her first reign like that already? Her first
it's
reign.
such a disappointing
Fucking
first victory.
Everything about this sucks. We're so removed from this belt because it's been passed around like a hot potato, and now that Bayley's got it, it's just always covered in fucking grime and just faulty bullshit. And you just want Bayley to be a baby face that has does her best and wins.
Yeah, because that's the appeal of the character.
Exactly. It's just nothing works. And if you're gonna have her, and it's like, I can't believe the fucking 16 pay-per-view streak was broken on a shitty, like, not great finish. Yeah. Like, that's the finish you got.
Yeah. Because, like,
are you that desperate for things to talk about?
Literally, when Sasha ran out, she Charlotte was about to hit her moonsault onto the outside.
Yeah.
She wasn't about to do anything dirty. She was about to do a fucking high spot. Sasha comes out. Charlotte's like, oh, fuck, Sasha's here. So she gets down and starts brawling with Sasha. Sasha hit Charlotte. The ref saw it.
Yeah, the ref totally saw it.
Didn't call for the belt. Like, honestly, like, as much of a shitty finish as it would have been, if fucking Sasha would have came out, started brawling with fucking Charlotte, causing a DQ, which meant Bayley kept the belt, because apparently that's what they wanted to do here.
Yes.
fucking, and then like, fucking Bailey gets upset because it's like, why'd you do that? It was fine. So she's kind of got a little bit of beef with Sasha. Charlotte's got beef with both of them. Naya's still got beef with Sasha, and she wants the title from Bailey.
Exactly.
It's like, what was the goal here? It felt like they wanted to go for a feel-good moment, which is why Bailey won with an actual pin, but they wanted to fucking keep Charlotte's credibility up, so that's why they had the interference. They wanted to have their cake and eat it too, even though it was like fucking, it was the wrong place at the wrong time.
It was fucking terrible. It was just absolutely god-awful finish. Everything about it was fucking busted. It's just awful. Terrible way to end Charlotte's streak.
Yeah.
There's like no heat attached to it. No rub attached. There's no rub. There's no rub. There's no rub at all. So, it's just complete fucking waste. Absolute fucking bullshit. And then the final match for the night, Goldberg versus Kevin Owens. Universal belt, who cares? Owens takes 10 minutes to roll around the outside, killing time.
Yeah.
Gets inside, he's like, alright, ring the bell! Break the walls down! And, Jericho's music hits, and he's like, oh, it's Jericho! And then the bell rings while he's not looking. Yeah. Spear, jackhammer, we're done.
Yeah.
And Goldberg's the winner. This pay-per-view fucking sucked. I'm going home.
LOL.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
That's all it was. It was just disappointing, lackluster Raw matches or extremely bad finishes.
Okay. What's our time right now, by the way?
It is 31 minutes. And
31
I'm
minutes?
stopping it in the next 60 seconds.
All right,
I assure you.
I actually have something I kind of want to say.
Go ahead.
Because it has nothing to do with wrestling, but I figured it was it was an interesting change in my life that happened. See, not last Monday, but the Monday before, I went to the doctor's.
Yes.
And, I got my tetanus shot, got my flu shot, and that was interesting. Both my arms were sore for a while.
That will do it.
But at the doctor's, before I went to see the doctor, when I was in the waiting room, they gave me this thing, this form. I guess they're kind of cracking down on like depression or something. So they gave me the form, and it was basically kind of like a questionnaire type deal, like one of those strongly agree, strongly disagree type shit.
Yeah.
And out of a possible score of 27, I scored a 21, which I guess is high. It's a solid B+.
Yeah.
So the doctor's like, okay, seems you've got depression here according to this fucking form. I'm like, okay, I kind of assumed that. I guess that I can take that as a diagnosis. I don't know if a regular doctor can do that, or if you need a psych doctor or whatever. But
I feel like you would need a psych doctor, but whatever.
Yeah, so he put me on Prozac, and it's different. Like the funny thing about it was, the whole thing is it's not something that kicks in like the first week you use it. What it does is that it essentially, during the first week, you feel negative side effects because it's literally changing you.
Yes.
It's rewiring your brain, and you can't fix something without shutting it down first. You know what I mean? So after dealing with like kind of minor headaches for a while, and then like being a little sick, I think day 5. It was the day we had like that storm and like really dark skies, like really
big
gloomy,
old massive thunderstorm.
Yeah, really gloomy, really depressing. It was I think it was a Thursday, maybe it was a Friday. It was the best mood I've ever been in, and that was weird because normally on days where it's wet and depressing looking outside, that brings me down.
Yeah.
Just because, like, atmosphere is a thing for me, right? So, like, when I see that shit outside, I'm like, man, today's miserable, so I feel miserable. But that day, despite the fact that it wasn't a weekend, I didn't have anything to look forward to coming home. It was literally just going to be a day where I got home, did nothing, like usual.
Exactly.
I had to work. Again, it wasn't on the weekend. And, like, fucking we had all this grimy shit going on outside. It was still literally the best mood I've ever felt in my entire life. Nothing to be excited for, just me feeling good. So I'm like, maybe this is working.
The right choice.
Yeah, like maybe this is a thing. I'm not really gonna know how it affects Because, like, even if it's just that boost in mood, like, if it brings my normal, nothing special days up to a good mood, then that's still, better than what I have been living with, right? Yeah. And, like, when you think about it, I've been living with it for years. So for me, it was just normal. I'd never considered it anything bad that I felt shitty on cloudy days, because it's cloudy days.
Cloudy days.
I just assumed it was fucking whatever.
Exactly.
But, that would be worth it to me. But the main reason I wanted to be, wanted to look into the depression thing was because I don't know if you've noticed, because like actually we kind of really started, bonding with each other through wrestling after Blaze Blue kind of died for a while. Mm-hmm. But something that I noticed was that the longer I was like in the scene, the less I actually had fun playing games.
Yeah.
And like that would be true. Like I used to sit at home all night in training mode, had a podcast going or something.
Yep.
Just in training mode, doing the same combos I always did because it was fun for me. It was like practicing a song, right?
Yes, exactly.
But nowadays, it feels like a chore just to pop the game in, right? Mm-hmm. Even if it's a game I love, even if it's a game I was looking forward to for however long, it's like I just didn't like doing it. And that applied to a few other things too, not just playing games. And I know that that's an effect of depression. It's not just feeling sad.
Yeah.
It's like the things that you used to love doing, you don't love anymore, right? So I'm like, maybe that's a thing. Maybe that's what's wrong with me. So I'm hoping that I can kind of recapture that motivation to do that again and kind of rise from the ashes. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to mention that because I know we're not exactly the most professional on topic wrestling podcast.
Fuck no.
We did a game review of Resident Evil 7 essentially last episode.
We did.
But I figured, this was something I kind of wanted to touch on just because it was a big kind of deal for me.
Let's humanize the people behind the mic.
Yeah, especially me, because I know, most of the time I sit here and, shit post in vocal form on this podcast. So, yes, there is a real personality behind the dank memes. It's not just 100% me being a shithead.
Yeah.
I actually put on that act because that's the only way I get friends. They love the shit posting, and if they don't, they really do, and they're lying. But yeah, just a little update on my situation there, and
well, hopefully this year's WrestleMania doesn't bring you back down.
Oh, Jesus Christ. See, the important thing is not how I react on normal days, it's how I'm going to react on bad days.
Oh, yeah.
Because just because you're on what some people would call happy pills doesn't mean you're going to be happy.
No.
It's just like a stabilizer. It's not a fucking mood booster, right? Mm-hmm. So bad days can still be very
fucking bad days.
So that's gonna be a fun thing.
Yep. Well, that's gonna be it for us here tonight. You'll probably hear us after Mania. I don't think we're gonna do anything before Mania.
Yeah, I don't think so. There's actually only 4 weeks.
Yep.
It's just a regular build right now.
This is a regular build to Mania, baby. So that's probably going to be it. Till Mania, people. Don't expect much coming after Mania, because I don't think we expect much.
Yeah. And I mean, it's going to be, because today we just got done watching it.
Yep.
And then we recorded. But
it won't be like
Mania, Jay's not even going to be able to watch it the night of.
No.
Because he's going to be at Michigan Masters.
My very first fighting game tournament I'm running. Weekend's gotta be on Mania.
Of course.
Of fucking course. Also, the Red Bull Proving Ground in Chicago is happening the same weekend.
Really?
Yeah, I've known about that for a long time, but they finally confirmed it recently.
Jesus Christ.
Yep.
So that means Chicago guys might not even show up then.
Street Fighter-wise, no, probably not, but anything outside of Street Fighter 5, most likely, yes. Because anime people don't play that shit.
I play it.
I know you do.
Not well. Not often, because of the whole fucking thing I just mentioned.
Yeah.
Looking forward to Street Fighter 5 for, as long as it was building up. And, you could say, oh, it's because it was shitty. I don't think it was shitty. I just couldn't keep playing. The same thing that prevents me from popping in any other game prevented me from popping in Street Fighter like I wanted to. It's a real bummer. It's a real bummer.
It's bad. Anyways, that's it for us tonight. We will see you guys after Mania. This is Mr. Usuck signing off.
This is LunaKage also signing off.
Later.
Bye.